I'm back at it for my favorite podcast segment, Q&A. This week I got a great question from an awesome massage therapist from the Chicago area that also likes to use choice language just like me. The question was, could you please talk about how big of a waste of time and money medical massage therapist certifications are? They take hundreds of hours to get. They cost thousands of dollars, and you don't really get a better business afterward. They teach you how to deal with insurance, which is, of course, a fucking joke. And their methods have barely evolved past trigger point therapy. Thanks for the question, and I hope you enjoyed the show. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast, where we teach massage therapists a new treatment method that focuses on working smarter, not harder, allowing them to make well over $100,000 per year with less than 20 hours of time per week in the clinic. Dr. Matt Maggio here. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to the podcast. So let's get right into it. These are my favorite segments on the podcast where you send me questions and I try my best to answer them and give a different perspective. Could be on business side, could be on treatment side, could be on communication, could just be like, hey, getting your shit in order and really trying to be motivated to go out there and do really good work. So what are my thoughts on getting the medical massage certification? So the whole idea of certifications, I fought this for a long time because I always say your results are your certifications. And I learned this a lot the hard way over the years where I would just take every single course. I had a whole wall littered with all my techniques, all my certifications. And I just kept thinking that I needed more and more certifications. I was always learning. I was spending money on that, which is great. You should invest in your business and you should continue to get better at your product. But it's like, how many more certifications do you need? And I would go to these seminars. I would implement it for a little bit, then I'd go back, and I was always looking for that shiny object syndrome, kind of thing going on, just trying to find that next new thing, kind of trying to find a hack or an easier way or a simpler way to really work around the idea that I just had to get fucking better. I had to get better at a lot of aspects. I didn't just have to get better at the treatment. I had to get better at communicating, how I educated the clients, how I sold my product, how I kept them coming back, how I marketed, and all of that stuff. And so much of certifications, they really just teach you the treatment side of things. They don't actually teach you the rest of it. Like the treatment is a major part of it. It is your foundation, but you got to be able to do a lot of the other stuff as well. So that's what I started to figure out over the years, was really honing in on my results, and my results come from all those other aspects. So I was really excited that this massage therapist gave me this question because I'd been pondering it for a while, and really not just the medical massage, but also just any certifications across the board. I think it's hard to find a certification that can hit everything and hit every aspect that you need, not just the treatment side of that. So let's break this down. I also got new audio, so hopefully it's better too. It'd been a little loud and a little echoey, so improving here at the Soft Tissue Revolution. So why do you feel the need for a certification, specifically the medical massage certification? A lot of times it's just ego. We feel inferior. We don't feel like we're at the same level of other people. And with my conversations, especially with massage therapists over the last 2 years, is they feel inferior to like chiropractors and physical therapists and regular doctors because they don't have a doctor in front of their name. I'm here to tell you that's all bullshit. It doesn't matter. I have a doctor in front of my name and I wasted $150,000 on a chiropractic education that I barely use. So it isn't about that. Another thing is like just trying to be taken seriously as a practitioner. I see this a lot with massage therapists. They get stuck in that service-based thing, luxury, non-essential, all that stuff, and they don't get taken seriously as a true healthcare provider. I believe massage therapy can be the primary go-to for conservative treatment and injury management, but you got to actually just get better at what you do and understand you don't need a bunch of other tools. You just need to be really good at the tools that you have. So my thing on certifications, you have to look at it through two lenses. A lot of times we look at it through just like an emotional lens, like, oh, this is going to be great and all that. And we don't look at it through like a logical lens. But Certifications are supposed to make you more money. And I flat out believe that the medical massage certification actually makes you less money. So let's look at this through two perspectives, from the client, and then we'll look at it from your perspective as the practitioner. So from the client. So here's the thing. Those wanting to use insurance are a pain. They're cheap and they'll be done as soon as their benefits wear out. The problem in our society is insurance has created an entitlement. People think because they pay for insurance that they're entitled to all this awesome care. They don't realize that on the back end, it really fucks the practitioner over. They're not able to deliver the care they need. The insurance company gets to dictate what's going on, not your practitioner. And they just think, well, I have insurance and I want to be able to use it. Like, I get it. Like, insurance used to be good like 15, 20 years ago, but now it's high deductible. You're paying out of pocket anyway. And it's not going to really solve your problem. In all honesty, doctors and practitioners that take insurance, for the most part, they're not very good at that because they're just kind of sucking on the tit of the insurance industry and not getting any better. So the client isn't going to be your ideal client because they're really choosing you based off of price instead of value. And my rule is we don't go over price until we know what the value is. And when they're just looking at it, do you take my insurance or not? Those aren't going to be the type of people that you want to go and have in your practice, in your clinic. From your perspective, way more paperwork. When I first got out of school, 2011, 2012, I took insurance for like the first 6 months and it was a fucking nightmare. And it's 10 years later, it's even worse. Like, the job of the insurance company is to do whatever they can to make sure that you don't get paid accordingly for what you do. And they're going to put you through a lot of hoops, a lot of bullshit forms, saying you didn't check a box. Their job is to make as much money as possible and not have to pay out. So you're going to get less reimbursements. You're going to be working harder and you're going to get paid less. You're going to have to fill out endless forms because dealing with insurance companies is a fucking nightmare. So yeah, the clients aren't going to be great and you're going to be making less. So there it goes again. Like, this certification is creating more work for you and you're making less money. That doesn't sound like a good trade-off. So the only way I would do this would be if I had multiple practitioners in my practice that were like working under me and I had more capacity and I could see a lot more. This is what you see with docs and practitioners that have to take insurance. They're just going. They have to see a lot more people because they're not getting paid as much as they used to. So they have to really crank it out. And if you're a solo practitioner, this is definitely not worth it for you. You're going to lose more money. You're going to be doing a lot more paperwork and you don't get paid for doing that paperwork. It's crazy. Can you imagine like performing a job and then you don't get paid for like 90 days and they say, hey, I know you billed $100, we're only going to give you 50 and you just got to take that. And that's what happens when people work with insurance companies. I use this with clients all the time when they want to use insurance in my clinics and we don't participate at all. And I say to them, I'm like, can you imagine if you went to work tomorrow and your boss said, hey, you know what? I'm going to need you to do the same amount of work, but I'm going to pay you 50% less. You'd tell your boss to go fuck yourself. But that's what's happening when practitioners have to see insurance clients. They have to see more. They're overbooked. They're underpaid. The quality isn't there. You're not rewarded. Our healthcare system does not reward quality. It just rewards how many people you can see, and don't get stuck in that mousetrap, in that rat race of like just doing shitty care. Number 2, understand it's not about what or how you do it, but can you do it? And so many people think that their certifications and what they do is going to draw the client in and they're going to be searching for you because you're this certain type of practitioner. That's not the case. At the end of the day, people don't care how you do it or what you do. They want to know that you can actually fix them and you can solve their problem. The world needs more problem solvers, and that's what's missing in musculoskeletal care. Number 3, improve all aspects of your product to stand out. So price, and if it's covered by insurance, isn't the deciding factor. You don't get leveraged by your clients anymore because you're doing something that's totally different. And you have to think of all the aspects of the treatment, not just delivering the treatment. What is valuable in this society and what we do is nothing beats cheap and free better than fast. And I talk about this all the time. Like, you can get your treatment times down to 15, 20, 30 minutes, and you can actually make more money than you ever have. When I say that stuff in the beginning about make $100,000 working less than 20 hours per week, most people think it's bullshit. It's not bullshit. You can really do that when you have a truly amazing product, and you have to focus on all the factors. How quickly you deliver that treatment, what kind of results you get, and how you communicate to the client that they're actually doing better. They're educated properly about what's going on and that you are a true problem solver. So if you keep thinking you need all these certifications, you need to take the newest course, you need to keep doing that, like, look at that. Like, look at your numbers and your objectives totally, like, from a logical standpoint. Are you really making more money? And then you go to these seminars, you spend a couple $1,000s, you travel, and you're like, oh, this is great, I learned this new thing, but they didn't teach you much of anything except for applying the treatment. Treatment is a major part of it, but you have to get all the other aspects as well. I'll leave you with this. And this was a quote I shared a couple weeks ago. You have a true customer when someone else offers them a cheaper price and they still stay with you. Let that sink in. So that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate the question. Thank you so much for sending it in. Share the show. Subscribe on YouTube. I post a lot of content on YouTube lately. My free training is up and running. Go grab that. Honestly, it's better than any of these paid courses that you go and do. And that's not me being ego-driven or saying I'm better. It is just better because it's giving you true information, getting you on that path to thinking critically and becoming a true expert in what you do. And lastly, come learn with us this year. You know, my seminars are kicking up here. I think we're starting them in May. We're going to be doing more of a intimate setting with like less than 3 practitioners per training. And that's going to be really good to help you get to feel the treatment, get to do it on me, and really dive in and become that true expert for what you do. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. Go out there and be great today because it's the only thing that truly pays. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you want help on the path to being able to double your income, all while working 50% less and being taken seriously as a healthcare provider, I have some great resources for you. Number 1, get access to our free training modules and introduction to my system, the Peak Method. Number 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Soft Tissue Revolution. Links to all of this can be found in the show notes. Lastly, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with others that you know it could help.